Haunted, where you are the investigator. Get haunted. Paranormal Investigations isn't a show. It's your experience. Join this premier paranormal event company for real investigations at some of the nation's most haunted locations. This isn't a tour. This is hands-on. You'll use real equipment, explore active sites, and dive into the unknown. No scripts, no actors, just you, the gear, and whatever's waiting in the dark. Perfect for both first-timers and seasoned ghost hunters. Each event is guided by experienced investigators. But the discoveries, they're yours to make. 2025 is already jam-packed with incredible locations across the nation. Space fills up fast, so make sure to book your tickets now. Dare to get haunted? Find your next investigation at gethaunted.com.
Well, happy Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, you too. Welcome back.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Welcome back, sick person with a busted up heart, but that's now fixed.
We're getting there. Yeah, I'm feeling fairly good today. I'm on old people medicine now. So that's a little weird. But
well, you're a little laggy, but it's back. Yeah, listen, things happen when you get to your age.
Well, let me tell you something. This is going to be some new conversation for macrame and menopause, because there's a lot that goes along with menopause and previous health issues. Oh my God, he's so cute. That you have to really be vigilant on. And these are things that aren't spoken about. So if anyone is interested, men and women, and you're friends with me, it will be over there on my private page.
Yeah. I wasn't ready for this live. Leo's being a nightmare. I might kick his little ass. He's being a menace today.
No.
But yeah, no, look, everybody was worried about you. I was so stupid worried about you. I was probably unusually quiet as I, waited to get the news that you were okay. I know it spooked some people, and then you've been quiet because look, recovery, as minor as that surgery may sound or seem, there's a lot that happens during it. So.
The one thing that I've learned is I am grateful that they no longer always have to crack open your chest.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
But I will say that no matter if you have that invasive procedure or the cath lab, although minor, it is intrusive. It is intense. I think that's the one thing because I was awake, folks, everybody was making me say I wasn't going to care. I was fully awake during this procedure, and I felt everything they did to me. So, you start to you don't realize until you hear three medical professionals, because you can't see them. They have you cut off. I had this big X-ray machine over my heart.
Yeah.
And so listening to them guide the wires and the leads to my heart, you realize I am wide awake and somebody is inside my heart right now.
Yeah.
My God.
It's pretty crazy.
It is crazy.
Yeah, everybody's worried about you. I took a little hiatus from just Facebook because I was trying to keep my shit together, because I was super worried about you. Sucked, right? And there's nothing anybody can do, and everything's just happening, and you're like, well, fuck. So, but you're good. You're back. It's a lot. It was a lot. So it was a rough week, even for me, people, even though I didn't have my heart probed by aliens. I was worried about my bestie here, and
God, that's almost what it was like. You just said it. It almost felt like I was being because I don't know if people realize this. The cath lab at hospitals is so futuristic. So it's not like going like, and you walk yourself in, by the way. You're like, welcome to the cath lab, and you climb this little ladder to get in onto this table, and the things that they actually use to keep your arms down, which at that point I didn't realize that. Because everybody had me believing I was going to be a little bit like out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So they pretty.
Well, you even said it. You said they were going to have you in Twilight. So I figured Twilight was a really good high, but apparently not. So yeah. So the reason, well, there's really two reasons for today's show. This impromptu show is number one. It's good to get Sarah back, get her face back on the air, so that everyone believes that she's actually okay.
I'm okay.
And number two was I made a post a little while ago about, it was a play on words, obviously, that, but I have heard this, and I've heard it a few times. I've probably felt it a few times as well. Hey, Emmy, probably felt it a few times as well. So, and the truth is, Sarah, and having a heart procedure, I was like, as easy as it is supposed to be in terms of heart procedures, if it was something that didn't work in her favor, like, would I continue doing this? It's weird, and I know it's sort of a dark place to go, but it was.
God, I did you really think that? What would you do? But wouldn't you want to like try to find me if I would have?
I don't need all these people to do that, right? I could do that on my own. No, you are the reason I keep doing this, to be honest with you. I couldn't do it alone. I know that. It's why I was forced to bring you on anyway. And I wouldn't want to. So it was that, while I was waiting, I'm like, God, what the hell are we going to do? So I guess the premise behind my post this morning, which has generated some really good and interesting responses, some doofy ones, AKA Ryan, is I have heard people say like, oh, the paranormal's dead, and this Paracon was quiet, or this, that, and the other thing. And there are times it can appear that way, right? At least maybe from the commercial side of it, or the business side of it. And I know there's still people that are curious and explorers and want to keep going, but without it really being mainstream, television in your face anymore, it does seem to have sparked a few things. One is an awful lot of, event companies, or literally teams being event companies in some cases, which is kind of saturating the market in some ways. But also, like, people, there seems to be a shift towards cryptids and aliens, right? Which we noticed a couple years back, honestly, where it's why the trifecta was born. And the more you look into it, the more related you see that all these things are. So today's impromptu show isn't to dive deep into it, but to keep the conversation going, get Sarah's face back on the air, so they know she's actually alive, and I didn't hack her account and and all that stuff. And to get people's opinions on it. I think we're going to have a panel at some point where we bring people in, because there were some interesting perspectives about how, certain generations are, kind of over the life after death thing, and they're equating that to time slip and whatnot, or alternate universes, the whole nine.
I think you should read. I think you should read the post.
I'll read it.
That would be fantastic.
Mine?
You read your post.
Okay.
And then we'll kind of go through the comments, because people have
Okay.
been, you know, this is exactly what we've always been about, and that is having your voice being heard. And I think that we haven't had those topics. And I said this to you, like, you know, I've been out of it a little bit. We've been so busy trying to catch up that, you know, these are the conversations we love, and clearly so does the community. So I think it's important.
Yeah, like I didn't expect this influx of really good comments. Not that most comments are dumb, it's that there's some really good comments. So basically I wrote, you know, I have a question for y'all. Now that and the banner, as you guys saw, said the paranormal is dead, or is it? And it was a play on words. But now that I have your attention, you know, we've heard quite a few people make that statement. The paranormal is dead. And I am curious what your thoughts are on it. Many of these people have said it's all about cryptids and aliens right now, which truly is also paranormal. But I think they're generally referring to the ghosty stuff. Then I wrote, the thing I see is that with the shows no longer being, you know, the big thing on television, it can lead people to make this conclusion, right? It just isn't in your face the way it used to be, at least not on TV. So then I went on to say, however, I do see some things that are in line with their comments. And it is true. I've been to multiple conventions, and they're a bit less crowded. You know, public events are more common by more people than ever. Look, some of it's the Get Haunted Network. Some of the nonsense that happens in the field, I've had people keeping to themselves a little bit more rather than working with the community. And then I said, hell, even some prominent figures in the field seem to enjoy throwing their hat into the drama ring, which, you know, after talking to multiple people, it's a problem for some. It's a problem for some, but that's a whole different show on a whole different day. And then, of course, the economy makes some of the nice to do stuff or nice to have things a little bit harder to get to. So at the end of the day, we do see newcomers and curious who are ignorant to most of the, you know, the extraneous stuff, you know, bursting into the scene with curiosity, motivation, and they just really want to go out there and explore. And the beautiful thing with all of this is that there are a lot of options. And the perfect example in my mind was Hero DW, who is a big time influencer on TikTok and all those other platforms, who came to our MSP event, bought tickets, and had probably one of the most profound experiences we've ever, well, they captured it on film. And we got to do more with that, because like it was truly a heartwarming and touching moment to watch that. It was just that good. So, you know, so then I said, while I personally don't think the paranormal is dead, I do think that the journey and the exploration and the excitement has been eclipsed in some cases by a variety of potential roadblocks. So I asked the community, what's your take on this statement? Is the paranormal dead? And then I asked them to sound off. And it was, some of the responses are absolutely amazing so far. So, and it does, it gets me thirsty to talk and hear more perspectives. Stacy Talent is saying it's a cycle. The excess of the hippies in the 60s and 70s created the yuppies and evangelicals of the 80s and 90s. AI will force people to seek meaning in life, and the paranormal will be the beneficiary. Stacy's so eloquent.
Yeah.
He's saying smoke more weed, people. That's what he's saying.
Stacy being very adult like there. He's like, the excesses of the hippies. Well, you know, I loved that you put that question out there, because I think that, you know, we've lived through being kids of the 70s, right? You barely were 70s. I was completely the 70s.
I was born in 70. You're barely 70.
But, you know, I think because we've lived through being that, you know, where we were the kids of the 70s and 80s, right? And then being young adults in the 90s, and then we lived through this big technology, you know, hurdle. And we sort of understood what it was to have to really find information, right? If you really
Yeah.
wanted to be a part of the paranormal, it was definitely more of, you know, an underground thing, and you really had to search for the information. Where when people were, I mean, I feel like when I was a kid, really, like Leonard Nimoy, he was the celeb of Unexplained and the Paranormal, right? With In Search Of, right? Like, I feel like that show that was the show. That's what you watched, right? Wasn't that like the early 80s? I feel like maybe the late 70s.
It was 76 to 82.
Yeah. So, you know, you think about, and it wasn't about Leonard Nimoy, right? He really did spark, or whoever created that show really did spark, you know, the interest and the curiosity to these things. And Damien, I agree. And then Unsolved Mysteries, right?
Yeah.
But then we became this world where celebrity was no longer a celebrity. It was, everyone could be a celebrity, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can produce your own music. You can produce your own TV show. You can produce, like, you're a reality star. Now to be a celebrity, that's the shine has been wiped off, and now every single person is a celeb, right?
In their own way. Fuck. I mean, don't do it, anybody, please. But I ran like, who's Rob Stachowicz through Chat GPT, and it was actually very nice and complimentary. I was scared. I was scared to run it. Sarah, you know, like the show Get Haunted is pretty interesting. What's out there and what can be gathered up. And goddamn, I mean, yeah, look, in our mindset, going all the way back to why Get Haunted even exists, right? Is that you all are the celebrities, like the community, and the comments on this post sort of allude to that being, not that that's the problem, but that the problem is that it's been somewhat lopsided for such a long time. So it felt good, and it made me smile to read some of these comments, and we'll read them. But that's exactly what Get Haunted's all about. It's exactly what Rock Island Esoteric Expo is all about. It's not about flying people in and putting them in penthouses and counting their M&Ms and all that shit. It's about bringing the community together and putting them on the stage and putting them in the podcast chair and putting them front and center, so that we can all get to know each other, instead of, you know, every 3 months at a Paracon where we got to stand in line for 20 minutes to, you know, get a handshake and a smack on the ass.
20. God, if only it were 20 minutes.
All right, now whatever. I know. Look, I don't celeb much, but at Penhurst, I did consider waiting to meet Josh Gates, just because.
Josh Gates is the one. That's the one I would probably be like.
Sorry, Brian Paoni. I know you're not a big fan of his,
but I do have a question about this, because your posted, it started making me go like, oh my gosh. You know, you start thinking about, you know, we all credit the shows, and there's nothing wrong with crediting the shows to raising awareness or interest. But where does that end? Because I think that raising awareness or interest in a genre or topic is always a good thing for the most part. However, when do we cut off their power? I think their power is in the introduction to something that can create conversation. However, what we see is that it creates camps, and then those conversations get divided.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Look, again, I think we should save those. And Chris Smith, I did star your comment. We will get to that. Yeah, the camps, the camps are formed and the divides happen, and this could be like a 9-part series, right, on all of the things that happen. And it's not just the paranormal. We see it on the horror community. We see it everywhere. Macrame community. You have old ladies already ready to kick your ass.
I know.
I got a message.
I did.
This blonde that thinks she can't do it square or not.
Because I can't.
That's Sarah. She can't do it. You have to play it in reverse. Maybe you are the devil.
I could be.
So, I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. And look, in all of the shows ever watched and put together, and to our celebrity fans and admirers, we're not beating you up, but I never learned shit really from any of those shows. Just to me, it's just like equipment, right? It's fun to watch and it's entertainment. But it is very, very different, than going out and exploring. And sadly, right, I'm not saying they're not all explorers or investigators. They do go out and do that. But because some are probably beholden to networks, and
all of them are.
Okay, I'm being diplomatic.
You're trying to be politically correct.
Okay. They really can't say all the things that they think or feel. And here's why I can say that with confidence. Your boy right here, Rob Stachowicz, filmed twice now with big networks.
Mm-hmm.
And both times, I'm not going to say which ones, but both times I was asked not to lie. I was not asked to lie. I guess that it depends on how you put that. But I was asked to bend the story a little bit, change the story a little bit. It's why you've never seen me on an episode, because, and I'll admit, they were like, especially the first time, experts at it. They're like, hey, look, if you just say this, it'll be really good for the location. It'll be good for the show. It'll be good for you. Mm-hmm. Right. And I was like, all right, I already have like a business, and my story is my story. And a lot of people know it. And they're like, just for the good of the location. And I will admit, I almost did it. Hey, Christine, I almost did it. I said, and I stopped myself, and I'm like, look, I can't. What if I just say it this way? Mm-hmm. They literally asked me to say that I did not believe in the paranormal until this experience happened, which happened way into my journey. It was hot, and there's like cameras like here, and behind you, makeup women, these dude lighting guys. It was just terrible. But I refused to do it. So yeah, they let me know like the day before that I was.
And you're not. I actually know a few people who have admitted that, like, they had been asked while they were filming, like, could you just make it like you're a little more scared? I mean, just beefed up, right? Maybe not a lie, just beef it up. Yeah. Because that's.
Oh, you're.
Let's be honest. It is what is. That is. Am I still frozen? Tell me when I'm not. Am I still?
You flail.
Okay. It is about entertainment, right? It is about entertainment. Yeah. So I think I want to throw this out there as well. I think we cannot blame. Network goes with what we buy. Network goes with what we, the consumers, dictate. That's how this goes, right? So it's I don't know if you guys know this, but when you eat fast food, there's stuff in that fast food that it's addictive. It makes you want it more. Don't eat it for 2 weeks. Go out and eat it and tell me what you want the very next day. It's just what it is, right?
What's in it? All right, tell me later.
I'll tell you later. It's not people. I know some people think it's people, but it's not. So, hey, Laura, I haven't seen Laura's name in a long time. Hey, Laura. But here's what I'll say. Since I think the virtual world has, hi, Icy, has become just so easy, right? Right at our fingertips. We have all this information. So I will say in the spiritual world, what I have seen is we want to go on, we want to find the healing, and we want to get in and get out, right? It's just, we want everything to be fast food oriented. It's just how we've been sort of indoctrinated into this. Everything should come to us. Everything should be easy. We don't have to do the work. And the reality is, when I was in the height of my Reiki practice, I would tell clients, like, here's the reality. You don't come in and do 1 or 3 sessions with me and you're fixed. It is a beginning. It is the start of digging in, and all the work comes from you. It doesn't come from me. You can come to me as much as you want, but if you're not doing the work, you're not finding the healing. You're just hanging out with me for an hour and relaxing, which is fine. But I think that what we have found, I believe, in the paranormal world is that we're sort of taking in this virtual world of paranormal quickly. And we think that this is the answer. It's simply the beginning of conversations. And I do believe that's what you and I have always, especially together, have always sort of advocated for, was listen, talk about it. Everything should be a conversation. To kind of touch back on Chris, right? Debunkers shouldn't be just debunking. Debunkers should offer more to a conversation. Explain to me. Don't debunk to humiliate. Debunk to expand a conversation.
Well, there's the big difference, and sadly, I think the more well-known debunkers are the ones that do that. They tear people apart, not just their work or their evidence, right? They're their very being.
Mm-hmm.
And you do have to ask yourself why, and why do they have so many subscribers? Because it seems to me that people have a penchant for that kind of nasty, right? They don't care about a lot of them don't. And one in particular told me literally, I don't care about the truth. I just don't like you. I was like, well, you know what? I'll give you credit for that. At least you're honest. You're an honest dickhead, but you're honest.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't want the truth. Mm-hmm. So, to Chris's point, that does, and I do sort of allude to that, not just about debunkers. It's about, the field in general. We've watched and defended people we didn't particularly like, against some stupid, terrible ugliness, right? So, look.
And it didn't work out for us, by the way.
No, it did not work. It did not work to our benefit. But here's the thing to me, right? Like, if somebody's out there faking things, it's gonna come to light. It's just going to. Now, in most cases, probably 99% of the cases, nobody's getting hurt. Mm-hmm. Nobody's getting hurt. They just look stupid, right? They look stupid. So this weird vigilantism around the paranormal is very strange to me. Mm-hmm. It's also one of the reasons, and Chris, to your point, we don't put out a whole lot of evidence, right? I mean, and God, he's so good. Chris is so good at finding my own EVPs that I don't hear, because for me, it's in the moment, and it's once we're out of that investigation or that room or that little piece of the night, I'm still looking forward, right? I'm not spending a lot of time there. And then by the time I get home, tired, all that fun stuff. But it's also, I know for me and also for you, it's no longer a matter of if, right? It's the why. It's the why I'm looking for me on my personal journey. When we're out on a public event with people, like I just want them, I want them to experience, I want them to capture whatever evidence that they're going to share or not share. But it is a really, really good point, Chris. Also, I think part of, the overarching problem, and I sort of allude to that in my post as well, is people turn inwards, right? They're like, oh, I don't want to share this because I'm going to get made fun of or worse. So it's this weird, sad thing. So what happens, right? And the whole concept of Get Haunted was to bring the community together, to work together, to share ideas and evidence and thought processes and belief systems. Seems, when those guys win, it sort of reverses that, right? Because then people go back into their silo because they don't want to share, something out of fear of ridicule or whatever. That was a lot.
But I think you're right. But, I think so, to sort of, is the paranormal dead? I think that what you will see is trends will come and go. That's just the nature of trends. And so we've seen, and we know there are content creators that will do paranormal, but the reality is it's not their passion. It's just the trend, and it's what pays their channel.
Yeah.
Debunkers will go after who they go after because it's trending and it's what pays their channel. It's not a cause. It's not deep to them. Right. Hey, Ryan. It's a trend, but I think what we have been so blessed, hey Candy, with Get Haunted is we have truly found those people out there that do want to have conversations, that do want to sort of broaden and expand their exploration into something that they don't know. And to be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of this statement in the paranormal. I'm not a big fan of we're all doing this for the same reason. Bullshit. We are not all doing this for the same reasons, not even close. We all have our personal reasons. Something brought us to the table that when we're really talking about the paranormal and our mortality, something brought us to the table that made us go, I wonder what this means for me or what this means for somebody that I've lost. So we're not doing it for the same reason. Some people are doing it for the money. Some people are doing it for the fame. Some people are doing it because what else they got going on. Some people are doing it for deeply personal reasons. But I am not here. What I am not here to do is I am not here, to change your mind. I would prefer to always encourage you to go out there and explore what you want. You don't need to believe what I believe. You don't know all my personal experiences like I don't know yours. So why would I want to try to change your mind? It's why I can't get into the heads of a debunker. I can't, for me, I'm not sure how deep, I don't know. I'm not saying that this is what they do. I don't know. I don't know how deep their actual investigations go to understand why somebody came to what they came to.
No idea. I have no idea. Right. But admittedly, I don't watch their stuff unless they put my face on there. Then I'm forced to check it out every now and then. And the whole money thing, I know the people, the timing of this is interesting. I know people, because this is all I do and it's all you're doing with me. And yes, it's how I make money. People think for me, it's all about the money, and trust me, it's not, right? I wish I was making enough for people to, when they said that, it would look real, but that's not the case. That is not the case. And we've talked about it before. I put a lot of money, awful lot of money into this company and trying to keep it alive. So the topic in itself is important to me for personal reasons and for business reasons, right? So, because any business in any market needs to adjust to trends and whatnot. That's what we need to do. And it's sort of why I first started, going, okay, when we came up with the trifecta, like the Bigfoot thing wasn't intriguing to me until it happened, right? Then the UFO thing, and when finally got that on a CE5, I think. Then I started to see how they all kind of work together, and I can understand the fascination with it, and where some people, start equating things like Bigfoot to aliens, and maybe it's Bigfoot and ghosts, or aliens. Who knows? But they all go hand in hand in some way under the umbrella of the paranormal. But the comments so far, it made me, and I'm pretty sure I can speak for you on this, realize that our mission has always been on point. Our vision has always been on point. Every now and then, some jackass will try to throw a roadblock in there, and we get around it. But it's truly what we do. And oddly enough, for the past couple of days, I've been working on, because we do have a lot of new people to the network, and a lot of new people that we're working with in regard to Rock Island and the expo. And they don't know who we are. So we're doing, just so you all know, I convinced Sarah to do, she'll eventually do it, but I think she needs to do a show. This is Sarah. People need to know who she is, what she is. Hey, Chris, thank you. And who she really is as a human being. Because I think, from a lot of the stupidity that's gone by and happened, that people have formed incomplete opinions of her. So she's going to do that, and I'm excited to watch it. I won't be on the screen, but we're also going to do one about Get Haunted, so that there are people out there that love to send dozens and dozens of messages and emails about us that are completely inaccurate and wrong, just to hurt us, just to hurt me and Sarah. All over the world, these people will send these things with no real evidence or no real proof, but they'll reach out incessantly to people almost every day.
But here we are.
Apparent reason.
But here we are with the great conversations with great people.
Yeah. Only to be backstabbed by the very same people that he thought he was helping. Anyway, or they thought they were helping.
Should we read? Let's read the comments.
What?
Let's read the comments. I'm so excited to get their voices.
Read the damn comments.
All right. How about we do one each, because I don't think I should read.
Oh, are you still high?
No, I'm not still high. By the way, do not believe in fentanyl and Versed as a great Twilight. It ain't. It's not. Hey, Joe P. So here are some comments. I want to go over these because, and it was what, I said to Rob, like, we need to get their voices out there, and we do want to build a panel. We want to build a panel on this topic, because what we're hearing and seeing on the side here is paranormal isn't dead, but probably the trend that people like that kind of thing. You can only be a celebrity for so long, right? After a while, your celebrity, your 15 minutes dies down, and then you onto the new face, right? Onto the new face. So we're going to start with, well, it disappeared. Hold on. So with Rob's post, when he said, is the paranormal dead? I'm going to start at the very beginning, Rob.
Okay. There's a lot more. I haven't looked.
So here, I'll start with Ryan Dayton. Ryan Dayton of Paranormal Theory just said, it's the stupid YouTubers. That's what he said.
And my response was, it's only the ones with mustaches.
That's right. And is he curling his mustache, by the way? I think
he is. He yes. I have to have a talk with him.
And then here, the next one is short. So I'll read. Michelle Allen was, well, obviously they're dead. If they weren't, they would just be regular annoying people.
Michelle, you missed my point, girl. But I know she's being funny. I know Michelle.
But if you want to read Denise Empey's,
I'll read Denise. Okay.
She comes in, it makes me happy. It makes me happy.
All right. So Denise says, pure opinion here. Typically, the folks declaring any topic as dead are spectators / bandwagoners / opportunists. The paranormal has always been a niche interest and will remain so to those who truly wish to continue exploring it. Warhol, as in Andy Warhol, was correct about the 15 minutes of fame type of attention. But once the spotlight fades, the true believers remain and will carry on just as they did before the larger public took notice. She's like, what's dying is the opportunities to make a fast buck and exploit, since the fickle public's attention span has drawn elsewhere. The paranormal doesn't need human likes to exist, and spirits don't keep track of attendance. Frankly, I'd rather not see certain cryptids become popular at the expense of the communities and ecosystems they may stem from. But that's a whole nother topic. The paranormal is alive, well, and will be fine through another cycle of being on the outside fringes of the mainstream. And she absolutely she lands on a couple really important points there. One is about, if everybody's out there looking for Bigfoot, we're destroying, the Appalachians and all that stuff. Anyway, but and maybe the paranormal never should be mainstream. Maybe it's supposed to be fringe for a reason. So Denise, as always, I commented. I always get excited when Denise comments because it's either going to be really, really good or really, really
harsh
painful.
truth.
Yeah, painful to me. Yeah, she can hand down an ass whooping when she wants to.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to read the next one?
Yeah, I'll take the next one. Tanner Rutledge. Is that the one you see?
Yeah, he just liked my reply to him. I first time seeing him or noticing him on the network, but then again, I suck.
I've never seen this name either. But Tanner says, I think beliefs have shifted. More and more people explain hauntings with time slips, extra dimensional beings, aliens, or latent PK ability, myself included. I think fewer people, especially Gen Z and younger, are interested in life after death. And I think I love what he said there, because you know what? I think that things like TikTok, these cute little edits that we do with life after death, I think that it really does make it almost, the word's not cartoonish, but it sort of brings death to this weird concept of like, it's just not a big deal. And I think that for many of us, we can say that we've had an experience with watching or knowing a situation of somebody that we've loved and admire pass away. We start to, and as we get older, like people like you and I, Rob, like we get to this age and you start you get to these health issues and you start to think like, okay, when you're young, you're never going to die. You're so, everything is just not a big deal. But when you start to get to these ages where it's like, these are realities. This is the reality of being a living human being. You are going to die. Now, for many people, maybe just the thought of living and who cares what after. But for many of us, again, something has touched our lives that we are like, what more? What?
I mean, it's everything. When you have kids, death becomes way more important, right? At 22, I wasn't thinking about having a will, and I did. And from 18 to 22, I did the most dangerous shit.
Yeah, you should have had a will,
right? But there was really nobody to leave it to. There really wasn't. My family would just get whatever, SGLI, whatever. But as you get older and growed up and start acquiring assets and having kids and families, death becomes an important thing. I know, like Sarah was freaked out, right? Sarah doesn't really go. She's never even had a cavity. All right, everyone. So, when they ask, if she has a DNR when she's going in, like she's like, it freaks you out a little, right? Like,
well, first they ask you before you get to the hospital. I can't remember the term. Do you have a direct something? A direct something?
Directive, personal, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I'm like, what is that? And they're like, well, like if you can't answer for yourself. And I'm like, what? And then when you're getting ready to be wheeled in, they ask you the important questions like, would you like us to perform CPR? And it's like, well, hell yeah, do. Yes, please.
Some people don't, for some people, it's a big no. My dad was a big no for the last 3 or 4 years of his life.
And maybe if I were older, right?
Right.
And then they ask
Yeah.
you,
I'm not saying you should give up yet.
Yeah.
Couple more years.
And then they ask, will you take blood? So, and I know some of that's for religious reasons, but I think there are those things that sort of, and I don't know if because of what we do and how many amazing conversations we have, it's not that I'm afraid of the act, right? I think that it's that moment that truly makes you, you can say it all day long, but until you're there is when you really go like, oh shit, like this is real.
Yeah.
This is real.
Yeah. And I think for some, right, we take, did I talk about here? Like Hero's experience there at MSP was, I think that sort of forced him to look at the afterlife through a different lens, right? Mm-hmm. It just does when something that big happens for you. So, but he would be the younger generation. So I think there's this cool mix, but Tanner makes some really, really good points. I'd love to continue that discussion with him. Yeah. Let's see.
Go down to Stephen. Don't read mine. Go to Stephen. Get over it.
Okay. Like I'm gonna read your comment instead of having you read it. Like,
it's just that I'm sitting here talking. They don't need to hear my comment.
Jeez. So there was Stephen LaChance, also new to me, for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. And he's probably gonna be like, dude, we hung out like 2 weeks ago. Like, I don't know. But Stephen wrote, I don't think it is dead at all. It is evolving for the soundbite world. Trust me, it is alive and well on platforms like TikTok. That's it. That is, if you are talking about promotional paranormal. The quiet research, I believe, is where the paranormal is still going strong and without fanfare or spotlight, just as it always has been. The conventions, the problem arises when the same people, now this is a whole topic. The problem arises when the same people attend the same conventions week after week, hearing the same speakers discuss the same topics repeatedly. Gone are the days of everyone getting a chance to share. Not true. Not entirely true, Stephen. Get your butt out to Rock Island, Illinois in October. Gone are the extensive group discussions that involve everyone, not just a panel of the same speakers over and over. Do you see my point? The whole ghostly thing will never disappear because I believe we will never fully understand the reasons why, and things will continue to happen. Think of it this way. Even disco has occasional comebacks. Damn, Stephen.
So true though, right?
I gotta find my bell bombs. This is just the ebb and flow of things, and over time, how we view and share it will change too. It's not dead, it's changing. Great comment. I love this response. It's so good on so many levels. But this is so I made a comment after a few of these, like, this is what it's all about. Right? This is hearing people's opinions and views and standpoints and their perceptions of this thing that we all view through our own personal lens in very, very different ways. Hi, Carmen. Is amazing. It's just amazing. So that was Stephen. And I said, we got to get that guy on a panel. I want to get Tanner on a panel.
And I think you just mentioned, like, he does bring up something that's a whole nother topic, and that is and again, but this is about consumerism. And I think this is where we don't stop and think about, I understand why some locations use some of the names they use because it's going to bring some attention their way. However, when we blow off people that are interested and curious and want to join in, and we don't give them that same platform, I think you're turning the paranormal into an echo chamber and not into the expansive conversation that it should be.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's not wrong. Like, for the most part, you could take just about any paranormal convention and just change the title of it, and it's the same. It's the same lineup just about everywhere you go, right? At least here in the Northeast, right? For me, it's what I see, and it's probably why. Because when I think paranormal, I don't really think Josh Gates. I don't. He's not, to me. He's more of an adventurer. He's like a friggin'
he does it all.
He does it all.
Yeah.
So to see his reception and how well he was received at Penhurst Paracon, it was astounding, and I think it was a really good litmus test for people wanting something a little bit different. And I'm gonna take this moment to stand up for some people that take an awful lot of shit. I was reading some amazingly inaccurate things about them this morning. Well, let's talk about Rock Island for a second. You know, everybody knows, and there are people that freak out when Nesper brings Annabelle out on tour. She's in Gettysburg yesterday and today. I don't even know if it's tomorrow. She was actually here on Thursday when they had to stop, pick up their merch. Yeah, make their merch. But let's talk about something, right? Because the things I was reading were really pissing me off. Number one, you know, they're like, people are like, oh, they're money hungry, blah, 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 blah. Here's how the meeting with Nesper went. Should I talk about this? They agreed to do. There was no fee. That's what I'm going to say. They cared about providing this experience to the people at Rock Island, the people that are going to come to it. They took a huge chance because I know how much it costs to rent the vans and things that they need to get from Connecticut to Chicago or to Rock Island and back. They took a huge chance. So not everybody, you know, that's in the spotlight is money hungry, greedy. They do want to help educate and give people opportunities, which is how the whole Devil's on the Run thing with us, by the way. So anybody that's watching that had a bunch of dumb shit to say online, that you're wrong. You're just wrong. So, but that's what it's all about, right? And that's giving people, you know, all of us, the regular folks, a chance to witness a piece of history.
It's iconic history to the parent. And I've said this a million times, and I think this is where I often wonder, and it kind of turns into that camp thing, right? Which we just do in everything in life, like you said. But, you know, I'm going to get annoying. I'm probably annoying all the time, but I'm going to get annoying for a second. When you work in any kind of Buddhist lessons, and no, I'm not a Buddhist, so cram it. I practice Buddhism because you cannot be full Buddhist in the Western world. You can't. It's why monks live in the mountains. Okay, folks. Monks be smart. Monks be smart. But I think that it is one of the things that they do teach you is that you should be able to hear a difference of opinion. You should be able to hear something that you don't agree with and it not affect you emotionally. So I feel like they're, you know, just like a lot of us use certain belief systems or experiences that we've heard in the paranormal sort of as our jumping off point, those same things, Steve White, some of those same things are, you know, that people use that they don't, right? Like some people's paranormal personality is all based in why they hate or don't believe in something, right? You don't really hear much of anything else except why they hate something so much. So, and Nesper's not, they're not dumb. They understand that they have both sides of that, you know, you either love them or you hate them sort of thing. They know that.
Yeah.
But I personally think that, you know, whether you believe in them, whether you don't believe in them, you believe in pieces of what they do, that you don't take any, you know, there's nothing you believe in their haunted items. The reality is it plays a part in the paranormal narrative and history, and how some in the field have become so big.
Mm-hmm.
They've taken pieces of the Warrens, right? They've taken pieces of their stories, whether it's positive or negative, and they've built their personality on it. So I love that they've given this opportunity for people to come out. Like, and it's what I've been saying in my post about Rock Island. Get off the internet, folks. Get in person. Get out there and make your own mind up. It's time.
Yeah. And the point that I was trying to make and completely failed at doing was that, you know, there really was no operating budget, nor was there a desire to have an operating budget to pay celebrities to be there. It just isn't. Just isn't.
Mm-hmm.
And Nesper and Tony in particular understood that it is, look, if we were going to have to pay, right, we would have had to raise ticket prices. Tickets are probably the most inexpensive Paracon I've ever been. What's it to get in? $5?
$5 for general admission.
Okay. So what does that mean? More people can come, more people can come in. And then, you know, a table, if you wanted to be a vendor, I think was 50 or something like that. Just very, very cost effective and inexpensive. And the whole purpose was exactly what we were saying, is to give everybody the chance, everybody the opportunity. Not everybody can afford, you know, these Paracons where the tables are $175, especially when you need more than one. And they took that and they agreed with it and they believed it, and they took a huge risk, financial risk, to attend and help make this Paracon exactly what it is, or expo, whatever you want to call it. So I don't know. It was bugging me reading some of the comments this morning. I'm like, oh my God, these people don't even know.
But that is virtual world in general, right?
Yeah, I know. I get it.
They don't know, and people offer their big opinions, and I will give.
They're stupid people.
I want to, you know, to give Rock Island some huge credit in why myself and Rob have put in so much effort and work, and why I have chosen to put the work into this expo itself, is because I do stand with somebody, especially a location owner, that says, look, $5 to get in. And the reason they said that is because they wanted the guests to be able to come in and to make some choices in what they wanted to invest in with the vendors that showed up. Yep. You know, there's nothing worse than having to make a decision like, well, I got to pay for 3 or 4 tickets to get into this. That's going to be a couple $100. Well, that's kind of, I only had so much to spend at this.
If they show up and they're going to invest, they should 100% spend that money at Get Haunted.
That's right. That's right.
All of it.
So I think that this is, you know, and for some, you might look at what we've built out there. You know, you want to get in a day a really good, clear look at the diversity of the community. And I think that Rock Island has nailed that. I think Rock Island has nailed the diversity of so many beliefs and practices and techniques, and the different genres within the paranormal under one roof one day, for those that are curious and seasoned to come in and get some new motivation or inspiration, and to explore some things that you might have never thought to explore before. But I think the reality is so that, you know, the question you wrote, and there's a few more comments there, you know, is paranormal dead? It's not, but perhaps what we need we need to bring it back to conversations. We need different conversations, and it can't just be based in, to me, there's just nothing sadder when we're talking about our morality and the afterlife, where people might be afraid to come together and have open conversations, whether you believe me and I believe you, but we can listen to each other. How sad to think like, oh my God, this celebrity's, followers, they're going to come after me. Like, what the hell is that? Like, what is that? And
it's
so
like gangs
what?
of New York shit. It's stupid. Yeah. So I had a thought. I'm going to save it for when we do an actual real show. This isn't even a real show. This is just us bullshitting here. Do you want me to read the next one?
Yeah.
And then, all right, we're not reading them all.
Okay.
This should be it. From our very own, the lovely Judy
Icy.
Patootie.
Love her.
Icy Spirits.
Yeah.
Personally, I have a curiosity / questions about spirits, ghosts, entities, the afterlife that I don't think will be answered in my lifetime. However, I'm going to enjoy my journey, whether millions of people are on it with me or if I'm by myself.
Mm.
And while the publicity sounding the paranormal may be dying, I think there will always be knowledge seekers and researchers on this path trying to find answers. Also, I believe paranormal research, regardless of whether you're talking spirits or cryptids, is a science still in its infancy.
Amen.
One day will be considered an actual science, such as physics and chemistry.
I see. Amen. And you know what? The only thing I might not agree with you on is I don't think it's in its infancy. I think that if they gave us the things that they, as my dad would say, who's they, already know, we see what we cannot handle.
Oh God, yeah. Look,
in masses, right? So if they were to really come in, and I do believe it's why they don't tell us the alien. I don't think they'll ever give us a definitive answer, yes or no, because if they told us a resounding yes right now and they showed us proof, can you imagine?
Oh yeah, it'd be total chaos, right? And there's even like there's anthropologists out there. Like, you think the paranormal's rough? When people start talking about changing the timelines of human history,
Yeah.
like people like get killed and threatened and you name it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not all the drama isn't stuck in the paranormal. Let's read Ryan. Why don't you read Ryan's comment that I started for you, Sarah?
Oh, thank you. Well, Ryan says, is paranormal dead? I personally don't think so. My reason why is because the paranormal is more than spirits, Bigfoot, and aliens. It's about people coming to get together to discuss whether they believe or not believe. The paranormal will always be around in some shape or form. And Ryan, you and I are very much the same. I have said from the beginning, for me, I have been a voyeur. I have been an observer of people with their experiences, and you're going to see some changes to Paranormally Blonde because of that.
I got fired, people.
But I think that what death truly does is brings us together. It is, I think that paranormal has become a little bit of a church, right? It's become the new church for some people. And, where what was the phrase people use? I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. Like that sort of became like the new, I'm guilty of saying it back in the day. And I'm just curious. I don't know that I'm anything. I know I'm not religious. I know I can say that. I don't know about the spiritual part because my curiosity just knows that there is something more and I can attach it to something. But I do believe in each other in the conversation. What are you laughing at? What are you laughing at?
Someone made a comment on my bald eagle photo that was actually very funny. I'm sorry. I thought it was a comment on our thing, but I clicked it and it was on the eagle post. Oh, Damien. Yeah. See, look, well, there's all these rabbit holes we can go down.
Oh,
Here's what I know, and I think Ryan may have landed there on the biggest, one of the bigger um, hot buttons is that, you know, what might be dead is the people coming together to discuss for the reasons that, you know, Chris brought up and Ryan brought up, you know, about himself. And a lot of things that a lot of people have talked about. So it deserves a bigger conversation. I do believe it warrants a panel of or something of that sort, because you do have to have you know, the different perspectives in here. I would like to understand why some of the debunkers choose to just shred instead of actually focus on why something may or may not be paranormal. Like, I just don't understand that piece. I would like to get the Denise MP's opinions, or, you know, you got to have the business owner opinions, even a location owner, right? And part of what, you know, that presentation I'm putting together for, you know, what Get Haunted is and where we help. Even Chat GPT was like, Dad, man, they help. Like, there's a spot for everybody, and quote unquote event companies are very important because they do help keep, you know, doors open and roofs on buildings and, you know, sidewalks paved and whatnot. So it's a really big conversation that can't be solved here, or at least hammered out here. I don't know if it'll ever get solved, but what was nice for me was the new voices and the new faces coming out to speak up. It was an accidental you know, hot topic post. Topic.
I think it is. I think it is amazing to see people expanding on conversations. I think that, you know, I will always support and champion those that are out there creating space for others to explore and to speak. The rest of the shit is just not my business. But you know, I think that, you know, as long as we can all just kind of speak together, hear those opposing views, because none of us know. The celebrity doesn't know. The network only knows what's hot and making them money in advertising. You know, we've had celebrity on show before, thinking we were going to have an open conversation, and they understand their parameters. They know what they can and can't touch. And that's not a real conversation. That is,
no, you got to get them drunk. That's the only way to get the answer out of these people. Yeah. So
it's good. We're good. This is fun. Good. Yeah, we hope you guys, we're going to put more stuff out there. Rob and I will put more and more questions out there. We were good about it, and then we kind of fell off that, but it's clearly it's needed and wanted. Speaking of,
I got to do a little business before we sign off.
Yeah.
Everyone that's watching, I thought this was self-explanatory. It's not. So, what's this affiliate program, Rob? Anyone that's watching, anybody that actually likes us, or even if you hate us, you can make money off of us and hate us at the same time. I mean, how fucking more fair can I be? If you sign up, you go to gethaunted.com, there's an affiliate registration piece up on the top right-hand side. What does this mean? It just means if you share out our merch, this piece right here is only about our merch, shirts, hoodies, the sweatpants. Now I got the ladies of the team. I'm making bras and everything. It's getting weird.
Sports bras. Let's make that very clear.
Sports bras. If you get your own affiliate link, right, and you share a shirt, or you share our shop, or you share this, or you share that, and someone clicks on your link and buys something, you get paid. That's all this is. It's real simple. You have your own dashboard. You can see how many people click on your links, how many people buy shit, how much money I owe you, and it pays you out automatically. And it's this whole whole thing, right? Super simple to do, so easy. Even Sarah signed up. Um, and she got a lower percentage than everybody else on the team, which was actually pretty funny. So there you go.
Yeah.
And so what is it? It's called affiliate marketing. What does that mean? It means you're basically my marketing team and I don't have to hire anybody.
But you make money off of it.
But you make money on it by doing what? Sharing a link. It's super easy. And Summers Get Haunted line now that sells. Yeah. So if you're interested and you're in the US, not in Scotland.
I know. Sorry, Damien.
CIC wants to do it for free. This is why they call us a cult. I try to give money away and people will not take it.
No.
But that's what that is. People saw it and they were a little confused, but there you go. So that's it. So Sarah, thank you for surviving.
You're welcome.
That means Get Haunted lives another at least maybe 4 months, 5 months. We got to get through the winter, right? Rob's going to be DoorDash. If you live in Northeast PA, don't use DoorDash because Rob might be door dashing. Right? It'd be weird if I bring in your chicken nuggets to you. Yeah, so come see us at Paracons. We're going to be at Fright Reads, book festival down in wherever the hell that is, Maryland, I think.
Maryland.
I might have an outstanding speeding ticket or toll ticket there. I got to be careful. We'll be at the main Paracon, Rock Island. We're going to be in a lot of places. We've got All Glaze Village coming up in just a couple weeks in Defiance, Ohio.
Yeah,
love the name Defiance.
Come join us.
Defiance is where I'm going to live.
It sounds so creepy. Like, just come to Defiance, Ohio. Like, I feel like that's got creepy all over.
It just makes me want to fight people in Defiance. Stacy Talek said, by XRP, folks. I listened to Stacy maybe a year or so ago, and I was buying XRP at 60 cents. I had an awful lot of it, and now it's almost $3, right? It had an all-time high of 340. And when it explodes, you too can be rich off of XRP. XRP, the future of cross-border payment settlements. Okay, it's going to happen. Buy XRP. Don't disappoint me.
All right.
Castro used to make fun of me for it. He bought some.
There you go. Oh, Mike Castro did it.
Anyway, buy XRP. Then you don't have to worry about making door dashing. Hopefully.
All right. Well,
is it back up or is it down, Stace?
We're just gonna do a quick little conversation.
10 minutes.
Here we are, an hour and 15 minutes. But it was so fun. It's so good to see you guys what?
It's so fun.
It's so fun. But to hear everybody's voices, it's always a good thing. So we'll let you get back to your Saturday. Keep your eye out. Look at that affiliate program. If you have any questions, you can reach out to myself or Rob at any time. And with that, we see you. We appreciate you. And we certainly love you. So thank you for being the good in the community. Thank you for opening those conversations up. Keep using that voice. It's important. Let's hear all.
It motivates us. It makes me want to keep going.
You two don't do anything. I know. Hey, Icy.
I'm ready to quit half the time. And then when Sarah's not feeling well and I don't get to talk to her, I don't even want to do this anymore. I crawled into my hole for 2 days. And then you guys start using your voices. It's why we do it.
Yeah.
Literally why we do it.
It's exciting.
Why I put up with her.
It's true.
Oh, did I say that? And Danny's on vacation. Okay. So it's just me and Leo for a couple days. And he slept with me last night. Finally, my dog is now my dog again.
Until Danny gets home.
So it was kind of cool.
Well, it was good to see you too, Lori. Laura, not Lori.
Laura. Pinky. Hell.
All right. So with that, go back to your Saturdays. Have an amazing night. If you're going on an investigation, safe travels, safe time there. And if you're just hanging out, enjoy your time to relax. And with that, we love you and we will see you. Well, Monday, Paranormally Blonde, 7 p.m. Eastern time. We're back at it. So there's that. Uh-oh. All right. With that reality.